Hey now, so before we get started, happy Memorial Day weekend, everyone. So, especially if you served in our country, thank you very much for your service. So, it is Sunday, the day before Memorial Day. And again, thank you all for your service. And I want to talk about today about the quote unquote the founder of modern baseball. That is Alexander Cartwright. So, I'm going to try and summarize 100 years of baseball in about 1 or 2 minutes. So, long story short, in 1909, Albert Spalding put together a commission to help discover the origins of baseball. And they interviewed some very old folks who claim that, I'm sure you heard this by now, it's called the Doubleday myth, that Civil War uh, person named Abner Doubleday, who was really fought in the Civil War. He's a real person. There's no question about that. And he invented the first game baseball in Cooperstown, New York, home of Hall of Famer Bud Fowler. But they say it was invented there. And what really Spalding, they say, was trying to do was just establish that baseball was a pure American game, had nothing to do with England. I mean, it's been pretty much discredited from that point on. And as part of that commission, they determined that Alexander Joey Cartwright, who was on the original Knickerbockers team, created the rules. Like he didn't like Doubleday created the game, but the actual rules, the 90 feet, the positions of the players, it was believed that Alexander Cartwright, again, a member of the Knickerbockers, is the one that created all these rules. And then what happened is the fact that everyone believed this, so much so that like in 1953, Congress passed an official resolution that Cartwright is the official founder of baseball. If you look on his plaque, it says the father of baseball. And even going as recently as like 2010, I wanted to say, Spud Selig even confirmed that, yeah, the story of Doubleday is still the official story of Major League Baseball and its origins. But getting back to reality, I mean, as we get more and more knowledge, we learn that this Doubleday myth is just that, a myth. And Cartwright, while he certainly did play baseball, they don't think he was as key to the knowledge and adventures as others think, to the point where there's a document that's called like the origin of baseball, the rules of baseball. And it was written long after Cartwright moved to Hawaii. He wasn't part of this commission. And now a person by the name of Doc Adams is getting a lot of credit for being one of, if not the founder of baseball. That being said, Alexander Cartwright, 1938 inductee, died in 1897 at like age 71. He died in Hawaii. I mean, you think his autograph would be rare. It's claimed a lot of people as rare, but to be honest, it's not terribly rare. A lot of his documents and contracts came out. You're not going to find a signed baseball by him. You're not going to find a signed picture by him. A lot of documents, though, you will find. So we're going to get into the PSA database and talk about that more right now, including what to look out for. There's one type of document that initially, like many years ago, was claimed to be real, but now we know it's definite fake. So, okay, let's get talking about Alexander Cartwright. So let's start with the PSA database. So a lot of documents that came out are checks and documents like this. And this guy named M. Takeo, I think this was his son-in-law. There's a lot of promissory notes you're going to see. I don't know if these are checks versus promissory notes, but let's look at the Alexander Cartwright. And he had a beautiful autograph. I mean, you're going to see the capital A. You're going to see, sometimes you see the full Alex, sometimes you'll see an Alexander. But what we want to look for is just, again, it's just beautiful, flowing handwriting. Sometimes he pulls that paragraph at the bottom. The J always looks like a capital I, and the big loopy C all the way around. I mean, once you see an Alexander Cartwright autograph, it's pretty easy to remember. You know if it's right or wrong. And the key thing, we'll talk about this a little bit later, is you want to see where the pen starts and where it ends. It shouldn't be one consistent like ink flow all the way. It should get darker and lighter. But again, I get beautiful capital A, looks like an I, and then look at this, see how it wraps around. And here we have that paragraph at the bottom. Just keep going here. Again, this is a full Alexander J. Cartwright. Oh, this almost looks like a copy, but again, you can see it's not consistent all the way through. It's a little bit lighter here. Capital A, again, it leans to the right also, which you probably can tell by now. Again, if you're a collector, you've seen the Alexander Cartwright autograph, so you should have a pretty good familiarity with I can't even talk this morning. So you should be, again, used to what you're saying. This is an official check. You can see it was even stamped and everything. But again, full A, you can see the I, which is really a J. Full big loopy C to the right. You can see the pair up at the bottom. Again, it's not, they're going to advertise him as rare. He's not terribly rare. I'll show why in a second. But again, here, beautiful A. Again, you can see the C. You can see the letter here. Now, Ron talks about that. Again, this is an old 1839 book. This is the earliest Alexander Cartwright known to exist. Again, but even then, look at that big C. There's not two loops. It's one loop with the C, but it's got a very similar consistencies of everything else you can see with the Cartwright. Just a beautiful autograph. So, I mean, mine right here, and I really like my autograph, to be honest. This came from Heritage. We'll look at it in a second. And again, same Takeo, the son-in-law. I like how right here, this is a promissory note, I guess, but it has his name right here from its original stamp. You can see it came from Heritage from 1879. It's dated and everything. So, but again, they say it's exceedingly rare. This one's on eBay right now. There's actually two of them on eBay, and I've seen a lot of stuff come out of the family. And again, I think most of this, believe it or not, I think the family sold a lot of their archive to Barry Halper way back when. I know they even sold the original Hall of Fame plaque. So when he did his catalog, 1999, there was a lot of Cartwright stuff in there. But again, this is like a family tree, all in Cartwright's writing. You can see the Alex is right up there, the Alex Joy. It's a full name. If you want a full name, this is maybe a little bit more rare, but it's definitely, look at all these Cartwrights. I mean, it's just, again, another beautiful document. There's two of these on eBay right now. So let's not pretend that they're that rare. If it was that rare, there wouldn't be one, let alone two. So again, now we're looking at Heritage. You can see right now a full Alex Cartwright. This is looks like another promissory note. It sold about a year ago, less for $3,200. When I bought mine, again, you could see it down here. I mean, I paid $1,900 for it, and it's gone up in value. It's probably keeps going because the myth gets bigger and bigger. So again, you're going to see a lot of these documents with these green stamps. You know they're good. So the thing to look out for is something called an onion skin back then. It was basically what they did for. They didn't have copiers then, and Alexander Cartwright loved to keep a copy of his letter. So what he would do is he would write in fresh ink. Then he put like I don't know if you were a kid, remember ditto paper? It's a very thin paper called ditto paper. And when the ink was still wet, he put this onion skin paper on it, and then he pressed the letter together. And the ink from the original letter would sort of go in and be absorbed by this onion skin. And it's called onion skin because it's very delicate. It feels like the skin of an onion that it's going to crack if you're not careful with it. So this is what an onion skin autograph looks like. You can see right here, it's very blotchety, very feathered. So you can see, it's feathered right here. It's a consistent ink throughout because of the fact it was just all pressed together very hard. So I mean, you could see it a lot. I mean, all the good TPAs can tell an onion skin right away just by looking at it. You don't even need to feel the paper. One thing that surprised me was this card right here. And I don't want to show it, but this was certified by Beckett. But again, when Beckett was certifying this, they were just certifying the card number, a founding father Cartwright. I am fairly sure that even though this is in slab, this was out of, I forgot the name of the set, Sports Kings 2008. I am almost positive, even though this was sold for $2,500 as an original Cartwright, dollars to donuts, this was a fake Cartwright. Because you can see, look how wrinkled the paper is, very delicate. You can see the feathering. It looks like it's consistent throughout. So, I mean, you just have to be careful. I mean, let me show that again. I'm sorry. I see that I turned off my monitor right there. But again, this is the Alexander Cartwright. This is the look-alike. Again, this was certified by Beckett, but you can see right here, it's feathered. It's not a crisp signature. You can even see that it was the skin it's on is very wrinkled and it's very brittle. So, I mean, without actually seeing this in person, I can't guarantee it. But if I would not touch this card. So, again, that's about it with the Alexander Cartwright. Expect to pay, God, if you want a decent document now, and I would not buy a cut from him at all, $3,000 to start, and then up depending on what you have in there. Again, you can get them right now on eBay probably for $4,000 if you want to pay that much for an okay copy. So, fodder of baseball, according to Congress. That's about it with Alexander Cartwright. We are going to move on to Orlando Cepeda next. So, as always, again, happy Memorial Day. Please hit the like. Please hit the subscribe. Keep collecting.